So Bismillah, Alhamdulillah, Assalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Iyaka na'budu wa iyaka nasta'een. It is only you who we worship and it is only you who we seek help from. So we already talked about al-ubudiyya, Iyaka na'budu. Now we are going to talk about wa iyaka nasta'een. It is only you who we ask help from. Okay, so I think already I mentioned why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has brought the object before the subject. Generally it's in the normal sentence it should have been nasta'inuka, that we worship you, but in order to emphasize the one and only, in order to eradicate any possibility of shirk or associating partners with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in ubudiyyah or in seeking help, Allah has brought the object before the subject. The objective is Allah here, it is only you, and the subject is us, that we are acting here. So we are asking for help to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay, so how do we do it? As I promised to you in the last week, that I'm going to explain it through the direct examples of different prophets, inshallah, which all these stories will come from Quran. So before we do that, a basic idea I want to give to you is how to seek help on this. So it is best to declare all the power of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and submitting my complete helplessness, all my weaknesses, that you are everything, I am nothing. You are Ghani, I am Fakir. You possess everything, oh Allah, you possess everything, I have got nothing. I can get only what you give me. So that is the main thing in seeking help, the strategy, if we want to do, if we can do it actually. So how do we do it? How to make it seeking help in the best possible manner? There are 5 things we can think about, that we seek help with sabr and salah. All these are coming from actually the Quranic references. Inshallah, I'm going to touch upon each of them while I talk about the story of all the prophets, inshallah. With sabr and salah. Number 2, the criteria should fulfill this condition as well, that with effort and putting trust on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So for myself, I have to put my effort, and then I have to put trust on Allah. And then number 3 is always I have to have the iman, the taqwa, the God consciousness, and the tawakkul, the trust on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This combination of these 3, if they are not there, you would not perhaps get the help, or even if you get the help or the response from Allah, you wouldn't understand it. You would still feel that maybe Allah didn't respond. Okay. Number 4 is with salah and building relationship with family. This is a very interesting aspect. If somebody has got disconnection with his family, like say for example parents, children, the siblings, or the other relatives, the cousins, grandparents. Okay, so if they don't have relationship with their family members, Allah doesn't take interest in their dua or in their in their affairs. Okay, so Allah loves those, as Rasulullah ﷺ said, if you want to increase the provision in this world, whether in terms of money, in terms of salary, in terms of the status, in terms of power, in terms of position, start doing 2 things. One is you continue perfecting the salah and Start building the relationship with your family members. If you have a cousin that you have some not good relation, what you do is you pick up the phone and give him a call and say assalamu alaikum and make a truce. Make them happy. If you can make your family members happy, inshallah Allah will be happy, and you will see how Allah responds to your call, inshallah. And number 5, and the most important, is we need to clearly understand and improve our relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I'm going to talk about how to do it at the end, inshallah. So let us move on, to the stories of prophets, inshallah. How did they seek help in their need of different types, obviously. So, for example, look at here. Subhanallah, some of us have got misunderstanding that a person who is an imam, who is an alim, who is an abid, and maybe who is a practicing Muslim, we expect that they cannot make mistake. But it is not correct, because our father Adam alayhi salam, actually we got this mistake proneness, or this this condition of making mistakes. Can you mute yourself once you get in, please? Okay, right. So all of you know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created Adam alayhi salam, He has put Adam alayhi salam in Jannah, in the heavens. Allah didn't send Adam alayhi salam straight away to this earth. So when he was walking in Jannah with all the blessings and ni'amat, within Jannah, he was feeling lonely, and that's why he asked for his companion. Then Allah gave him his wife Hawa alayhi salam, which we call Eve. So the story of Adam and Eve. So then Allah has specifically warned them about a particular tree, a forbidden tree, that don't go near to that tree or eat the forbidden fruit out of that tree. But because of the waswasa, or the whisper of shaitan, Adam and Hawa alayhi salam, both husband and wife, both of them actually got tricked by shaitan, and they actually ate the that forbidden fruit. And because of that, what happened is, Allah originally said to them that I give you the ni'mah of not feeling hungry, not feeling thirsty. You're going to eat, you can eat and drink whatever you want within Jannah, everything is there. Okay, and then number 3 is you would not be naked, your body would be always covered. Okay, so immediate after they have eaten the forbidden fruit, immediately they saw themselves naked, all their cover has gone, and they started actually trying to cover their body using the leaves from different trees in Jannah, and they started getting thirsty, and they started feeling hungry. And obviously what happens is, if you eat the fruits or the vegetables or whatever food there is in Jannah, you would never feel automatically all your food and everything will be digested, and it will come out as a sweating of your body. But if you eat anything worldly fruit or food, then you have to go to the toilet. You would have a tendency to go to toilet, basically to relieve yourself. So it will create the indigestion, so many other things. So because Jannah is a pure place, So and there is no place place like toilet there. So obviously, you have to then go to somewhere else. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said, go down to the earth. You cannot stay in Jannah. Now you don't have you have lost all the right to stay in Jannah. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have sent them down to the earth in this world. And at some point, they were trying to figure out, what to do, because they have made this mistake. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given them this dua. رَبَّنَا ظَلَمْنَا أَنفُسَنَا وَإِن لَمْ تَغْفِرْ لَنَا وَتَرْحَمْنَا لَنَكُونَنَّ مِنَ الْخَاسِرِينَ. You can see it is such a beautiful dua. All the references I have given there, Surah Araf, you can see. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, basically Allah has decided to forgive them, and that's why whenever Allah decides to forgive someone, Allah gives them the dua, or maybe reminds them of the dua that He wants them to make. Okay, so now Adam alayhi salam started making this dua, that Rabbana, O our Lord, zalamna anfusana, we have wronged ourselves, our nafs, wa illam tagfir lana, and O Allah, if you do not forgive us, and watarhamna, and if you do not have mercy on us, lanakunanna min al-khasirin, we will surely be among the losers. What is happening here? As I mentioned in the beginning, that you express your helplessness, that you cannot do anything if Allah doesn't help you. So we are all losers effectively. If Allah doesn't look at us, if Allah doesn't help us, we are all losers. So we have to accept that fact, that helplessness. And that is the best way of attracting Allah's attention effectively. Allah becomes so happy when we accept our weakness and when we acknowledge Allah's greatness, Allah's power. All right. So you can see, if we wrong ourselves, if we are losers, what is in it for Allah? Nothing, because Allah is not going to lose or gain by our loss or our gain. Okay, so but still, because Allah loves us so much, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created us by His own hand, subhanallah. So Allah loves us so much that Allah wants to forgive. Allah is eager to forgive. That's why, Allah loves whenever we turn our face to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and accepts our weakness, accepts our, acknowledge our mistake, and then, Allah not only forgive us, Allah is saying that, not only you ask for forgiveness from me, but also you ask for rahmah from me, the mercy from me. Yeah. So this is what Adam alayhi salam did, and then what happened? Allah accepted his dua, and then Allah has let him meet with his wife, Hawa alayhi salam. They met together, and since then onward, basically, they lived their life happily, and then from there, actually, all the humans came, men, women, up to today. So that's why they are our father and mother, original father and mother, obviously. So you can see, even the very first man on the earth, the very first prophet on the earth, he made mistake. So do we call it sin? We can, but we want to actually consider it to be mistake, because from there, the name of humans came from there. Annas means the mistake, the entity, the people who are forgetful, the people who are mistake prone, basically. Okay, they forget whatever is commanded by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They get tricked by shaitan. So that means there is no harm in getting tricked by shaitan, but always we have to continue to turn back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Look at Ayyub alayhi salam, what he did. If you are, so that means in here, what is our lesson? Our lesson is, if I make any mistake, if I indulge into any sin, no matter how big it is, the moment I realize, I just say, رَبَّنَا ظَلَمْنَا أَنفُسَنَا وَإِن لَمْ تَغْفِرْ لَنَا وَتَرْحَمْنَا لَنَكُونَنَّ مِنَ الْخَاسِرِينَ. Please Allah, forgive me, and please Allah also bless me with your blessings. Okay? Don't turn your face away from me. Don't get upset with me. Don't get angry with me. Okay? Then there is another place where we can seek assistance from. That is, if we are under distress. Say for example, some people may have mental stress. Some people may have physical illness. At the moment, particularly in developing countries. I think in England, alhamdulillah, the situation is improving for the last few months due to corona. I think almost every family had one or two family members, either cousins or uncles, aunties. Somebody got ill because of coronavirus. If someone is under that distress, this distress could be financial distress, this distress could be mental distress, this distress could be physical distress, so many other, maybe you're being bullied by somebody in your school or college, so basically you're feeling really distressed, so then you follow what Prophet Ayyub alayhi salam did. All of you, I'm sure, know about it. Prophet, I mentioned it in the, I think in one of the classes, one of the sessions, the Prophet Ayyub alayhi salam, more than 80 years, about 82 years, he has lived with, grandeur, high status, richness, having lots and lots of family members, children, but at the age of 82, he got ill. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala actually has given him this illness as a test, and this illness was so severe that whole of his body became basically what is it called, the insects actually were on whole of his body, and even the smell coming out of his body. So everybody left, all his relatives, family members, everybody left except his wife. Okay, so only his wife was there during the whole time of his illness. Okay, so it continued. Can you mute your? Okay, so it continued for 18 years. Subhanallah. As I said, sabr is so important. You continue to make the dua, Allah will respond to you at His time. When He feels the right time for you. All right. After 18 years, Allah responded. And at that time, he was mentioning, this dua, Anni massani yaddurru wa anta arhamur rahimin. Indeed, the adversity or the distress or the illness has touched me, has overpowered me. Massani is the overpowered or overcame me, right? Wa anta arhamur rahimin. You can see, he didn't actually ask for anything. He just mentioned his situation that, oh Allah, I am overpowered by illness. I am completely distressed. All right. I cannot do anything. I think somebody, where is it? Can you mute yourself, please? Okay. So, where is it? Okay, so So basically, where were we? So he was just only mentioning about his situation, that, oh Allah, adversity or the illness has overpowered me, and you are Arhamar Rahimin. You are the most merciful, you are the most gracious and most merciful. Subhanallah. So that means basically you leave it with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to respond. This is one of the best way of doing, instead of asking for it. As individual humans, when we ask, we can ask up to our level, human level. But if we leave it with Allah, Allah will give you to His level, subhanallah, to His status. Yeah. So that's why when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has responded, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala not only cured his illness, but also He has given back all his richness, all his children with full health, subhanallah, and then he lived happily ever after, subhanallah. So then Nuh alayhi salam, you can see in different situations what are the du'as we need to do. If we see that I have done some mistake or sin, I do this dua following Adam alayhi salam. If I am ill, I do this dua, and if I am in serious illness, that somebody is in deathbed, for him this is the dua. Anni massani ad-durru wa anta arhamar rahimin. It is not a big dua. I would urge you to basically memorize it, inshallah. Then the next is, if you are into the field of dawah, telling people about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the message of Allah, Quran and Sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, it is not easy. It is not easy. People will mock at you. People will ridicule you. Even people will backbite you. People will character assassinate you. Even your loved ones would do. Even the ones who used to respect you, they will do. You will find. Subhanallah. I am telling you from my life experience, The ones who used to respect you so much, the moment you start giving dawah about Allah, calling people to 5 times prayer, being good, you will see that people will start actually getting agitated, because shaitan whispers them, right? And it becomes, sometimes it may become very difficult, Say, for example, I am giving me this talk today, right? You may see that I'm smiling, but behind the scene, maybe somebody is mocking at me, somebody is ridiculing, okay, this guy, doesn't he have any other thing other than just only talking about Allah, talking about Islam? He could have gone to, maybe a park and, enjoy there, but he is spending all his time just to give dawah to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this may happen to you even, whenever you start calling people to do good deeds, people, it is very difficult, you will see that not many people actually will listen to you. That's why you will see that if you call for a concert, say a singer is coming, all right, a rock star is coming, and then you will see that so many people go there, thousands of people. But if you call for a dawah conference, Islamic conference, you will see not many people come. So that's what we see in the life of Nuh alayhi salam. As I mentioned earlier in another session, that Nuh alayhi salam gave dawah for more than 950 years. 950 years. More than that. Subhanallah. We only live about 80 years, 90 years, maximum 100 years. Right? So for more than 950 years giving dawah, Nuh alayhi salam got only 40 pairs of people, meaning 80 accepting his dawah and getting onto the boat. this famous story that he was building the boat and he kept on warning the people that there is a great flood coming. Allah has commanded me to prepare, a boat, build a boat. Only those who will enter into this boat will be saved, and the rest of the people will get swayed by the flood, will be drowned in the flood. Right? And people didn't listen. Subhanallah. And hundreds and thousands of people were there. Only 80 people accepted his dawah. Believed that yes, it was command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. At some point, he was feeling distressed, because as I said, people were ridiculing him, and even they called him Majnoon, you have gone mad. So what? If the flood comes, what we'll do? We will get, they used to be very tall. Not like ourselves, 6 feet, 7 feet, 5 feet, yeah? They used to be maybe 60 feet or, even more, 100 feet, right? So that's why they used to boast that, okay, if the flood comes, we're going to go to the top of the mountain and the flood will not be able to touch us, right? So we'll not be drowned. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when Allah sent the flood, this flood has gone so high, the people standing at the top of the mountain also got drowned in it. Okay? Only those who got onto the boat of Nuh alayhi salam, they got saved. So before that flood came, Nuh alayhi salam was feeling really helpless and distressed. He was saying that, oh Allah, Anni maghlubun. You can see very small dua, but very powerful, subhanallah. Anni maghlubun fantasir. Verily I, you can see, fada'a rabbuhu, that he invoked his Lord, he made dua to his Lord, that Anni, verily I, maghlubun, am overpowered. Ghalib, Ghalib is the, you become victorious, and maghlub is you get defeated. Verily I am defeated. Oh Allah, please help me. Please help me. Fantasir. Okay? You can see. Just only, please repeat after me. Inshallah, you can memorize it. Anni maghlubun fantasir. Verily I am defeated, overpowered by the people, by the ridicule of the people. I cannot beat them. Nowadays it happens actually. There is so much of intellectual movement going on against Islam. People try to find out the weakness of Islam, or weakness in the history of Islam, and they mock at Islam, they ridicule Islam, and they tend to say that, okay, it is a very old religion coming from 1450 years ago. We live in modern world, right? So why should we, na'uzubillah, believe in the deen or the religion that came in 1450 years ago? Yeah? So by doing that, people mock at us, people ridicule us. Those of us who do not go for interest-bearing mortgages, yeah, we tell people that, okay, please don't get involved in any interest-bearing riba or the sud. And because of that, we don't buy houses. We stay in the rented house, and then people mock at us. It happened to me, so 20 years ago. Alhamdulillah, nowadays we have got Islamic banks here in this country. Alhamdulillah, we can get the Islamic mortgage. Alhamdulillah. But 20 years ago, there was no bank, such bank. Even though, Alhamdulillah, we had the deposit money, we could buy the mortgage, but we didn't go for it. And because we didn't go for it, some people used to laugh at us. They used to say, one day it happened that a man was explaining to me and trying to reason me, saying that you are renting a house. If you bought a house with a mortgage from interest-bearing mortgage, then with the same money you could every month you could start owning the house, but now you're renting. That means you are actually wasting your money, spoiling your money. So he was actually ridiculing me that you are not a clever person even though you are an educated person. All right. So in that situation, what do we do? Sometimes an atheist may come to you, and maybe because of his too much of knowledge or something he acquired, sometimes it happens that even though we are Muslim, perhaps we are not connected to Quran, or we are not connected to the right kind of knowledge of Quran. For that reason, sometimes in the debate, in the discussion, we may get defeated. And in that situation, don't lose the hope. Rather, you say, Anni maglubun fantasir. Oh Allah, I have been defeated by the person. I am overpowered. Please help me. You can do it even if you get defeated physically as well. Oh Allah, I am overpowered. Please help me. Fantasir. Okay. So then, if we look at Yunus alayhi salam, similar type of thing, like Subhanallah, my dear uncles and aunties, boys and girls, Subhanallah, all of us, Inni ja'ilun fil ardi khalifa, that Allah has sent us in this world as the Khalifa of this earth, to represent, to basically, what is it called, to maintain the order of this world. All right. So in order to do that, how do we do it? Basically through practicing the prescription and the guidance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that has come through Quran and Sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. All right. So in order to practice it, what we have to do is we have to actually act as da'i, deliver our responsibility. I cannot just only stop by praying myself. I have to call people for prayer, right? And I have to try to prepare places for prayer. I have to try to establish prayer in the society, inshallah. So if I don't do that, what's going to happen? This is going to happen what we see in the life of Yunus alayhi salam. Yunus alayhi salam, he was giving dawah, facing similar situation like Nuh alayhi salam, that nobody was listening to him. He was giving dawah to his nation, to his qawm, and nobody was listening to him. They were rather ridiculing him, mocking at him, and then Yunus got upset. He thought, okay, forget it, let me stop giving dawah to them. I want to basically, so he was planning to run away from his qawm, from his responsibility or from his nation, right? So he got onto a ship, he got onto a ship, a boat, and then he was basically trying to run away from his responsibility of giving dawah. Okay, so he got upset. So, and then what happened? When this boat was in the middle of the sea, a big whale actually, basically got hold of this ship, and then eventually the people had to throw Yunus alayhi salam into the water, and then this whale has actually swallowed him. So the Yunus alayhi salam got inside the belly of this big whale, all right? And you can imagine, if you are inside the stomach or the the belly of the whale, what will happen? Everywhere it is dark and dark and dark. Okay, so darkness. At that time, Yunus alayhi salam was feeling really, really helpless, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala so kindly gave him this dua that Allah has basically given him the ilham, has put this ilham into his mind, this dua, that is La ilaha illa anta subhanaka inni kuntu minaz zalimin, which is famously known as Dua Yunus. Okay, so Yunus alayhi salam, that La ilaha, there is no deity, illa anta, except you, O Allah, subhanak, exalted are you, that is, the pure are you, inni kuntu minaz zalimin. You can see again, you are just only stating your situation. You are not asking for anything. Verily, I have been from among the wrongdoers. I have done wrongdoing. Exactly, you can see, almost similar to the dua Adam alayhi salam did. Rabbana zalamna anfusana. Okay, but Adam alayhi salam explicitly asked for forgiveness and the rahmah or the blessings. But Yunus alayhi salam, he was in so much distress, even he couldn't ask for anything. He just only stated his situation, that, oh Allah, I am from among the wrongdoers. I have done wrong. I shouldn't have run away from my responsibility. Right? Then what happened is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has sent down the angel, and then ultimately Allah has forced the whale to cough off Yunus alayhi salam, and then how did he do it? How Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made it happen is, Allah has commanded the whale to go to the seashore and then put Yunus alayhi salam in a soft place so that Yunus alayhi salam doesn't get hurt. So whenever, sometimes we tend to think that, when we make dua, we have to completely mention what we want. No. Just only I mention my weakness. I say that, oh Allah, I am completely overpowered. I am wronged myself. Oh Allah, I have understood that I am completely helpless, and all the help can come from you. And then you leave it like that. Then, all my affairs, I leave it with you, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you can do that, Allah will start taking care of whatever you need. Okay, inshallah. Now come to look, this is a very interesting aspect of seeking assistance. That Prophet Sulaiman alayhi salam, Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam, what they were asking for. There is a great misunderstanding in our society, that we ask Allah for only forgiveness and for Jannah and for saving ourselves from the hellfire in the Akhirah. But actually look, the prophets, they used to ask for dunya as well. Like the Prophet Sulaiman alayhi salam, what he did, he was asking for the power and wealth. Subhanallah, what did he ask for? Look, قال رب اغفر لي وهب لي ملكا لا ينبغي لأحد من بعدي إنك أنت الوهاب. He said, oh my Lord, first he said, forgive me. You can see, رب اغفر لي. Sometimes we tend to feel that, okay, whenever I do sin, I will ask for forgiveness. Actually, in this situation, Sulaiman alayhi salam was not asking for forgiveness because he did sin. He didn't. He wanted to ask for something so great. Okay? Afterwards, basically, first thing he did is, he tried to attract the attention of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Whenever you say Rabbi gfirli, astaghfirullah, Allah becomes so happy, then whatever you ask, Allah gives you. So that's why this is one of the best strategies to get whatever you want from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Don't think that, okay, I didn't do any sin, or I didn't do any bad deed, why should I ask for forgiveness? No. You ask for forgiveness because even if you haven't done the sin, maybe if you haven't done the task in the best possible manner as Allah expected. Okay? So you have done the work, maybe done the task, maybe with some weaknesses. Okay? So that's why we first attract Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's attention by saying that, forgive me, oh Allah, forgive me, Rabbi gfirli. And then he was saying, wahabli mulkan, give me the kingdom, muluk. Oh Allah, give me a kingdom, la yambagi li ahadim min ba'di. Yeah? this is such a worldly dua that such as that you will not give to anybody after me. Right? Innaka antal wahhab. Indeed, you are the bestower. Okay. So you can see in here, we can, so how much we can ask Allah for in this dunya? I can ask, oh Allah, make me Prime Minister. Oh Allah, make me President. Oh Allah, make me Member of Parliament in this country. Oh Allah, make me best of the lawyers in the world. Oh Allah, make me best of the accountant in this world. Oh Allah, make me the highest knowledgeable person in this world. Oh Allah, make me the richest person in this world. You can see how selfish and worldly dua Sulaiman alayhi salam made. That not only you give me the kingdom, but you give me such kingdom that you would never give to anybody after me. You can see, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accepted his dua. Allah didn't say that, oh Sulaiman, why did you become so dunyabi, so worldly? Why are you not asking me for Jannah? Subhanallah. So that means there is no restriction on us to ask for the richness, to ask for the wealth, to ask for the righteous children, to ask for the status, to ask for the power. Inshallah, there is no restriction. You can do this. But you have to know your capacity. Why did Sulaiman alayhi salam do it? Sulaiman alayhi salam was a prince. You can see, Sulaiman alayhi salam was the son of a king who was another prophet, the great prophet Dawood alayhi salam. In English, we know him as David. Okay? Solomon, son of David. All right? So Sulaiman alayhi salam was growing up in a palace of his father. And while he was growing up as a child, he always saw that how did his father disperse the responsibility of a king. So he only learned throughout his boyhood, throughout his youth, he only learned how to act as a king. So that means he perfected all the actions of a king. And that's why he felt that, okay, if I become a farmer, I would make a mess because I never learned how to do the farming. Okay? If I become an engineer, I cannot do it. If I become a doctor, I cannot do it because I didn't learn. But what I learned is by seeing what my father, King David, used to do, I can actually perform in the best possible manner as a king. So that's why he understood that is the thing and that is his purpose of life, okay? That he can deliver the best. Okay, and so that's why he was asking for this muluk or the kingdom. Just only hearing his story, we shouldn't start asking for the kingdom. So what we should try to find out is what I am good at, what I have learned so far in my life, right? Like if we move on to say Yusuf alayhi salam, what he did. Okay, so he was asking for the treasury. This Chancellor of Exchequer, Rishi Sunak now, yeah? So Yusuf alayhi salam literally asked the then president, yeah, that give me the position of treasury or, make me the Chancellor of Exchequer. He was saying, قَالَ جَعَلْنِي عَلَى خَزَائِنِ الْأَرْضِ إِنِّي حَفِيظٌ عَلِيمٌ. So you can see, so Yusuf alayhi salam understood that he has got the expertise of dealing with finance, dealing with the economic affairs. And that's why, he is saying that I will be a knowing guardian. So he was quite confident about it. So that means if you have got an expertise, you have to stand up. Like say, for example, during this coronavirus situation, somebody is dying and you are a doctor, so you need to say that I am a doctor, I know. Okay, let me deal with it. Give me this position of medical expert. All right, exactly. Yusuf alayhi salam did that. That appoint me over the storehouses of the land. You know the story. It's quite long story. We don't go into that. Okay, so and he did the best job, subhanallah. So that means sometimes there is a misunderstanding in our community that just to be humble, you don't ask for positions, but you can, if you think that you are the right person. Like a hafiz, when he finds that the people for prayer, so, people are asking someone who is not knowledgeable to lead the prayer, to become imam, and then the hafiz and alim, they need to actually stand up and say that no, I am going to lead the prayer because I am the most knowledgeable person. At that situation, we shouldn't feel shy. So that means we can ask for position actually, as long as we know our situation and we understand our capacity or capability. Before asking for a position, you need to gain the knowledge and expert of delivering the responsibility of that position. Okay. But again, on the other side, this Yusuf alayhi salam has got another story, and another dua that he made when he fell into a situation of safeguarding his iman, right, from the evil. The Zulaikha, the lady, the wife of the prime minister or the king of that place, she was actually calling for zina, doing zina with her, okay, calling for evil. All right. So at that time, what you do is your dua should be qala ma'azallah. That means he said a'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Okay, so he said, I seek refuge with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this is one of the ways of seeking help. Innahu rabbi ahsanu mathwaya. All right, indeed he is my master who has made good my residence. Innahu la yuflihu zalimin. Indeed, wrongdoers will not succeed. What happened? Amazing story. When Zulaikha basically took him to her place, and behind him, he basically closed the 7 doors and locked all the 7 doors, right? So Yusuf didn't have any chance to go out of that palace, right? So Zulaikha, when she was asking for sexual intercourse with him, to do the adultery, Yusuf alayhi salam, what he did, he said a'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, I seek refuge with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and then he turned around, he basically ran away from Zulaikha, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when he approached the door, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala opened the door. When he approached the second door, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala opened the second door. And that way, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continued opening all the 7 doors, and then, Yusuf alayhi salam got saved from this evil. Right? So then Allah mentioned that, sometimes it happens just only dua is not sufficient. You have to put your effort. Right? So Allah said, it was the task of Yusuf to turn around and start running away from the evil, and then my task was to basically open all the 7 doors. Had he not turned away and started running away, I would not have opened the 7 doors. So that's why, if you are into any distress, if you are into any bad deeds, if you are into any sin, first task for you to basically turn yourself away from it and start running away from it. Then you can leave it with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah will take care of it, inshallah, and Allah will save you from there. So I think maybe today I couldn't finish. I stop here, inshallah. If you have got any question, perhaps if I start answering. Main thing is that I was trying to explain is all these things, like with sabr, I talked about Ayub alayhi salam. He had to endure 18 years of sabr, right? And salah, he continued making dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, anni massani ad-durru anta arhamar rahimin, right? And with effort and trust, Yusuf alayhi salam did. He has put his effort. He turned away from the evil and started running away, having the trust on Allah that Allah is good. The rest of the things Allah will do, and Allah did. Allah opened all the 7 doors. And then Iman, Taqwa and Tawakkul, if you don't have all these 3, the belief in Allah, strong belief in Allah, and have the fear and the consciousness of Allah, and have the trust of Allah, trust on Allah, actually you cannot seek help from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And with salah and building relationship, I'm going to touch upon these 2 in the next session, inshallah, with prayer and the building relationship with family, and also understanding and improving the relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So far what we did, we have been able to talk about the story of Adam alayhi salam, Ayub alayhi salam, Nuh alayhi salam, and Yunus alayhi salam, Sulaiman alayhi salam, and Yusuf alayhi salam. Inshallah, we'll talk about one of the greatest prophets, mightiest prophets. There are 4. Muhammad sallallahu Musa, Isa alayhi salam, Musa alayhi salam, and Dawood alayhi salam. So Musa alayhi salam was one of them, and his stories are amazing. That has been mentioned in Quran. Subhanallah. So I'm going to start my discussion in the next class with the story of Musa alayhi salam, inshallah. You will see that how did he seek help from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in different situations. So the most of the du'as we see from either the life of Musa alayhi salam or our beloved Prophet Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, and you will see inshallah I will go through them inshallah. So let me end today's talk here, or the discussion. Do you have any question? Anybody? Ehsan, I can see Fadil Faik there. Okay, Tahsin. Maybe you can ask, or you can tell me whether you have understood Bob Marley. Did you understand particularly? Can you relate it with your life? If you have fallen into any bad deeds, like somebody is maybe luring you into, say, drugs, what do you do? Yeah, anybody? Which dua one should make? And what should they do effectively? Anybody? Where is it? It's what there? Okay. Are we allowed to say du'as from the Quran during Sizdah in Fard Salah? Yes, you can. MashaAllah, Abdullah, it's a very good question. You can actually write down as well the questions. The question is, are we allowed to say du'as from the Quran during Sizdah in Fard Salah? A very good question, very good question. In the Fard Salah, you can prolong your Sizdah by making dua from Quran. Okay, no problem. But if you want to, even the masnoon dua made by Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, you can do that as well. Right? It has to be in Arabic. Can you say, Tahsin is saying, okay, can you say dua in your own language during salah, in sujood? In fourth prayer, you cannot. In wajib prayer, say for example, all the fourth prayer 5 times, the fourth ones, right? You cannot do. And the wajib, meaning say witr prayer, you cannot do. In sunnah, there is a difference of opinion. Okay? In sunnah, some say that you can, some say you can't. But in nafil prayer, say for example in tahajjud prayer, when you are in the sujood in the tahajjud prayer, you can say in your own language. If you cannot remember the dua in Arabic, you can say it in your own language. Is it clear? Tahsin, you can shout out, is it clear to you? Any other question? You can ask me, say, for example, some difficulty you are facing now. Which dua you want to make, right? Or maybe you know someone, yeah? You know someone, a friend of yours, is going through a difficulty. What dua you should suggest? What should he do? Anybody? Any example from your life? We know that our because there are predators there in the society, in the community, out there, right? They always call you for bad deeds. Somebody may ask you to, what is it called? Go to the pub, na'udzubillah, drink alcohol. What would you do? You do what Yusuf alayhi salam did. Yusuf alayhi salam said, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. I seek refuge with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Verily it is an evil work, right? So immediately you recognize and you seek refuge with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then, number one, seeking refuge with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Number two is, you start putting your effort that don't, continue sitting there, gossiping there, right? Because if you are sitting with someone drinking alcohol, there is always a risk that you might indulge into it, na'udzubillah. So what you have to do is, you just, stand up, turn away, and start walking away if you do not run away, right? So inshallah, then Allah will help you. But while you do that, very interestingly, Yusuf alayhi salam was not swearing at Zulaikha. Yusuf alayhi salam was not shouting at her. Yusuf alayhi salam was not telling her off, right? Yusuf alayhi salam was not cursing her. What did I say? 4 things I said. Yusuf alayhi salam was not swearing at her. Yusuf alayhi salam was not, shouting at her. Yusuf alayhi salam was not telling her off. Yusuf alayhi salam was not, what is it? What was the last thing I said? Anybody? Why don't you unmute yourself and say it? Okay? Yes, Jazakallah. Abdullah, you are listening very attentively. I can see that Yusuf alayhi salam was not cursing. So sometimes, we tend to do, say, those of us who are practicing, praying 5 times a day, some people tend to think that, okay, all other people are bad, they're always upset about others, but we cannot be upset. If somebody is calling me for a bad deed, what do? Exactly, we do what Yusuf alayhi salam did. That you become concerned about your iman. You become concerned about your akhirah. You become concerned about your well-being. You become concerned about your love of Allah, your relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So what you do is, وَإِذَا خَاطَبَهُمُ الْجَاهِلُونَ قَالُوا سَلَامًا. If you can remember from last week's session, that I said, one of the qualities of Ibadur Rahman is, whenever they face someone who is jahil in a discussion or in a debate, who is ignorant, what they say? Qalu salama, peace. You go your way, I go my way. So basically, and you don't curse the person. Sometimes we tend, some of us tend to do, this guy is so bad person, and then maybe you start telling others, and then you indulge into backbiting, character assassinating. Even if it is true, as Rasulullah said, what is the ghibat? What is backbiting? Backbiting is, if you tell someone about a friend of yours who is not present when you are talking about him, even if it is true about him, right? Somebody, say for example, like say, my skin is black, or maybe dark brown, is it? So can you say dua between your sajda? Yes, you can. I'm coming to that. So somebody, in my absence, okay, this person is, black. So it is true. But if I hear about it, I might get upset. So even if it is true, this is called backbiting because you did it in my absence. Alright? So you talk about my weakness in my absence is called backbiting. But if it is a lie, sometimes people do that, that is called buhtan, as Rasulullah said. That is called slandering. Okay? So we must not do backbiting. Even if we must not speak ill of others. We must not, tell somebody about someone who is not present. Even if it is true, but if they hear, they might get upset, right? Okay, say for example, somebody is drug addict. Somebody is drug addict. Definitely it is wrong. It is haram. So then what you do? If you want good for him, you go and try to rectify him. But what you shouldn't do is you go to somebody else and talking about him. That this guy is drug addict. No, you shouldn't do that. Right? So that becomes backbiting. Okay. So now, Ahmad, can you say dua between your sajda? Can you make dua before you give salam in salah? What are the exceptions to backbiting? Okay, that's a good question. So now, between the sajda, when you prolong your sitting between sajda and you make dua, no problem. But it has to be dua from Quran and dua from masnoon dua from Sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Okay, and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to do it. Okay, then can you make dua before you give salam in salah? Definitely you can do it. Definitely. Most of us think that Allahumma inni zalamtu nafsi zulman kathiran wa la yaghfiru dhunuba illa anta faghfir li maghfiratan min indik warhamni innaka antal ghafurur rahim. Most of us tend to think that should be the last dua. No. After that, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to make so many du'as, subhanallah. One of the specific du'as he used to make is Allahumma inni a'udhu bika minal mathami wal maghram. Oh Allah, I seek your refuge from matham means from the sin. Subhanallah. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was sinless, but still he would ask for it. I seek your refuge from the sin, mathami wal maghram, and the debt. Rasulullah ﷺ used to hate debt, borrowing money from somebody, right? So, oh Allah, I seek refuge from these two. And Rasulullah ﷺ used to make so many other du'as. Say, for example, Allahumma inni as'aluka bi annaka antallah, la ilaha illa anta lahadu samadu, ladhi lam yalid wa lam yulad wa lam yakul lahu kufuwan ahad. One day a man made this dua and Rasulullah ﷺ heard it. And Rasulullah ﷺ was so happy and surprised and said, whoever makes this dua and after making this dua, whatever he asks for, Allah gives. Because this dua has got Ism Azam. Alright? The greatest of the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So, Allahumma inni as'aluka. If you can repeat after me, Allahumma inni as'aluka bi annaka antallah. Oh Allah, I ask from you because you are my Allah. Oh Allahumma inni as'aluka bi annaka antallah. Then la ilaha illa anta. There is no deity except you, oh Allah. Like Yunus alayhi salam did, la ilaha illa anta subhanaka inni kuntu minaz zalimin. Then, after this, the rest of the things are coming from Surah Class. Al-ahadu samadu alladhi lam yalid wa lam yulad wa lam yakul lahu kufuwan ahad. Right? So, I know, I'm sure you know the meaning of the Surah Class, yeah? Al-ahadu samad, you are the one and only, and you don't need to turn to anybody. So you are sufficient, as-samad. Alladhi lam yalid wa lam yulad, you don't beget, you're not begotten. Wa lam yakul lahu kufuwan ahad, and there is nobody, nothing similar to you, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay, so whenever you make this dua, there is another dua. There is many, subhanallah. Ahmad, jazakallah khair that you raised this question. There is many dua. If you continue making those dua before saying salam, this is one of the best times. There are few places. One is when you are in sujood. You are the closest to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And at that time, you prolong the sajda and you continue making dua. That's why you need to memorize. You need to try to memorize the dua in Arabic, inshallah. Okay? Another time is just before saying salam. The third possible time is after saying salam, don't stand up. Sit there. Prolong your sitting after saying salam. You continue making the dua. Then Allah will continue to count it as if you are in prayer. Subhanallah hamdi. Right? And there are other places, obviously, during the day of Jummah, after Asr prayer, between Asr to Maghrib, if you sit there, don't stand up, you continue making dua, Allah will accept. Okay, inshallah. Okay. So what is the next? What are the exceptions to backbiting? Yes, that is important. Talking about some mistake or weakness of a son and daughter. The parents talking about, say, their son doing something wrong. This is not backbiting in their absence, because parents have got the authority and the power and the intention of trying to rectify them. So the intention is to try to rectify. Another example could be your head teacher or principal of your school or college. You have done something wrong, so he sat down with some other teachers to discipline you. In there, he asked a teacher, what did you see? What did this student do? And that teacher telling exactly what you did in your absence, that is not backbiting. Because in there, they're sitting there to rectify you, to discipline you. And they've got the power, the authority, and the intention of rectifying you, not ridiculing you, not mocking you. All right? Okay. Next thing, can we make dua in witr salah after dua kunut? Yes, you can. There are many masnoon du'as. If you follow, say, Sudais in Makkah, what happens? During Taraweeh, in the month of Ramadan, in Salatul Witr, what they do? They prolong the dua after dua kunut, they prolong the dua, isn't it, in Witr prayer. You can do 1 hour, 2 hours, no problem. But you have to bear in mind if there are other people praying behind you, you have to keep in your mind that there are ill people there, maybe there are old elder people, there are children there, so that's why you shouldn't prolong that much. But when you are doing yourself, you can do it. In tahajjud prayer, when you wake up for tahajjud prayer, after tahajjud, when you do the witr prayer, prolong your dua. And when you do that, Rasulullah recommended that, I'm just taking off my glasses to show you that try to bring tear out of your eyes, try to cry, try to weep, all right, when you are doing it, inshallah. So Allah loves it, for the fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His punishment in hellfire. If the tears come out of your eyes, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would save your eyes from the hellfire, inshallah, in akhirah. Okay, what du'as can we say to prolong our standing after ruku'? Okay, so, we say, Sami Allahu liman hamida, Rabbana lakal hamd, hamdan kathiran tayyiban mubarakan fih, Ya Rabbi lakal hamdu kama yanbaghi li jalali wajhika wa azimi sultanik. And then you can do your dua, if you want to prolong, no problem after ruku'. So the more you prolong, the more khuzu, or the concentration comes in, inshallah. Okay. So the next, what is the next question? Someone told me that you cannot make dua beginning with Rabbana, basically Quranic, in your fard, salah, in sajda. No, it is not. It is not correct. It is not correct. You can do it, no problem. That's for example. If the dua is Rabbana zalamna anfusana wa illam taghfir lana wa tarhamna lanakunanna minal khasirin, you can do it, no problem. Right? So, for example, why? Why can you do it? Because even if you are making dua alone, you may make dua for your whole family. Right? So, for example, Rabbana hab lana min azwajina wa zurriyatina qurrata a'yunin waj'alna lil muttaqina imama. Even though it is for plural, but it is not a collective dua. It is not necessarily a collective dua. Individually, when you do Rabbana hab lana min azwajina wa zurriyatina qurrata a'yun. Oh Allah, make our offspring and our wives, qurrata a'yun, the coolness of our eyes, and also, the example of muttaqin, example of the God-fearing people, right? So you can do it, no problem, inshallah. Okay, what is the next? Last thing form. I see a lot on YouTube that imams during month of Ramadan recite dua like the same voice they would read the Quran. Is this allowed? There is no problem. There is no problem in it. They do this to make the people behind to cry during their duas. This is possible, even in prayer. So for example, in Qiyamul Layl, right? Rasulullah sallallahu used to do that. It came from Anas radiallahu anhu, Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu, that they stood behind him when he was praying the Tahajjud prayer, and then they found that whenever the mention of Jannah comes, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam would stop there, and these are all possible for nafil prayer, no problem. Yeah, he would stop there, and he would say, Allahumma inni as'aluka al-jannata al-firdaus. And whenever the mention of Jahannam comes, he would stop there. He would say, Allahumma inni a'udhu bika min azabi Jahannam. Right? And he would actually cry, and we would feel that actually, if the mention of Jannah comes, his voice becomes rejoiceful, happy. And when the mention of Jahannam comes, his voice becomes very, fearful or scared. All right. So it is, and even it is recommended. Cry. Even if you feel that you cannot cry, sometimes it happens. Some of our hearts become so tough and hard, because perhaps we are involved in so much of sin that we cannot cry. Many people I have seen, they cannot cry. Inna lillah. So if you see yourself in that situation that maybe tears are not coming out, at least you try even to pretend, try to, bring the expression of crying in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, like, oh Allah, like this. Yeah, I think you saw how I did. Sometimes it could happen that maybe the tears are not coming, but if the tears come out, that is the best, right? And in order to do that, if you take if you do it melodiously, if you do it, give some eagerness into your voice, it's all right, in order to even to raise the emotion of yourself, yeah, and by that maybe the other people getting the emotion. But Ahmad, what is not permissible is, at that very moment, this shouldn't go through in your mind that if I do that, people will say that I can do this much of dua in so much of melody. This riyah should not come there in your mind, showing off. Na'udhu billah. That's the problem with, and knowledgeable, the alim and the imams, they are at the always at more risk than us, right? As Rasulullah ﷺ said, that on the day of judgment, the both the lines of Jannah and the lines of Jahannam, both the lines will be led by alims. Then the companions said to Rasulullah ﷺ, okay, we understood the line of Jannah will be led by the imams. We understood that, the alims. But what about, why? Okay, so which one is, okay. Why the line of Jahannam would be led by an alim? Rasulullah said, these will be those alims who would seek fame out of their knowledge, that they would want people telling them being big, great alim, okay, great speaker, right? Maybe this is such an imam who can make dua for 1 hour, with melody, he can raise emotion. So if he thinks in his mind, then this is wrong. I hope it was clear to Ahmad, yeah, inshallah. So alhamdulillah, jazakumullah khair. I think more or less these are the questions. I don't see any other question. Maybe we stop here, inshallah. Jazakumullah khair. Any other question? I will stay here for another 9 minutes, inshallah. سبحانك اللهم بحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. If you want, you can leave, no problem. But if you want to ask question, I'm here for another 9 minutes, inshallah. 9 minutes. Samuel, do you have any question? MashaAllah, you there? Adil,
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam, Samuel. Yes.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah. Any question?
No, I don't have any questions.
Okay.
Okay.
Alhamdulillah. Okay. What else? Is it Abu Bakr? Okay. Jazakumullah khair. Should we close the meeting? Maybe, inshallah. Yeah?
Yeah, I think we should.
Okay, let's close the meeting. Jazakumullah khair. Assalamu alaikum. Hope to see you next week, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.